Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to Bareham Engines channel. I am Lee. Right, interesting topic today. This is to do with newish vehicles and the problems they're having with the engines and how much it's costing to have these engines rectified compared to the value of the vehicle, etc. So the reason I'm going to discuss this today is I've had surprisingly quite a few phone calls in the last 6 months, even had a good few since Christmas. And although these modern engines of all types are not something that we really get involved with too much, one phone call in particular was the beginning of last week, and that's really what set me off to do this vlog. Now, the vehicle in question, the guy rang me up. It's a Land Rover Discovery 2 litre HSE. It's a 2017 plate, done 35,000 miles, and it cost the gentleman £38,000, and this was 6 months ago, mind. So the manufacturer's warranty is out, obviously. The problem he's got, he rang us up and said, how much could you do the engine for? Say this is a 2 litre, a new style 2 litre. So I'm not really even sure what engine that is, if it's their own or someone else's, I don't know. But the really worrying thing is, now I'm just going on, there's no accusations flying around here to the manufacturers or anything like that. This is just purely going by what people have, these customers are ringing us up and telling us. They've obviously gone around, done some homework and looked on the internet and rang the dealers and what have you and done their own sort of research. And so it's just, we're just hearing it through the the phone calls we have. But basically, this chap's experience, he's got in touch with Land Rover and he's told them that, well, actually, the engine just stopped, come to a stop, wouldn't start again. Had no lights come on or whatsoever. He's took it to a main dealer. Not sure whether he bought it private or he bought it off a dealer, but he took it back and they said he's run it totally dry of oil. And when I say totally dry, I mean bone dry. And it's done God knows what. They say that it may have been because the turbos are absolutely shot, but from my experience, I'm feeling that the turbos are probably shot because it's run short of oil. His question to them was, why did the oil level light not come on? Now, they're not admitting any sort of issue that, that they have with the senders or the light or anything like that. Although he's done his homework and on the net, apparently, this is a renowned thing. They give no warning. There's no lights that come on. It just runs bone dry of oil. There's some people on there that haven't had an engine go, but they're going through oil like you would not believe. So that was the first question. And then he said, when it gets to the point where there's no pressure, why is there no pressure lights come on? And they say, well, we haven't got a pressure light because when it gets to that point, you're too late anyway, which is true, but from our experience, it's very strange because an oil pressure light or an oil pressure gauge is probably the most important gauge you can have on the vehicle. So very unusual. And this problem they've got, if they have got a problem with the oil warning light, they're obviously not admitting or saying anything about. But what they're saying to him is, and this is the main problem we're having now, he's come to us and said, look, how much for an engine? And I said, listen, trouble is with these modern cars, as I said to you guys before, especially the diesels, it's usually something around the engine that's caused the engine to go in the first place, i.e. injectors, DPF, EGR, turbos, all the rest of it. And you're talking big money for all of it. I said, so if you're looking at sort of £5,000 or £6,000 for an engine, then you've got to go and replace your turbos, your injectors, your DPF, your EGRs and all that. You're looking at 10 grand plus. Well, he's been quoted from Land Rover 12,000 plus the VAT, so £15,000 for an engine. And I said, to be honest with you, that you're not going to be far out. Plus, you know, by the time you have sort of replaced everything you should, bear in mind it's only done 35,000 miles. I think he's had it 6 months and done about 6,000 miles, so it's probably done just over 40,000 miles now. The vehicle, all good. 6 months after he's bought, it's probably worth 35. So he's probably lost £3,000 there in depreciation, but that's what you get with something like that. He's been offered 14,000 for the vehicle as it stands, and they're quoting him 15,000 to do an engine. What does he do? I mean, if he goes for the not fixing it option, he sells it for 14. He's lost what? 24,000 pounds. If he fixes it, it's cost him 15. He sells it for 35. He's got 20 back. It's cost him 18,000. I mean, it's just, this is what we're running into more and more here. You know, people are buying, it's like transporters, Volkswagen transporters. We get phone calls for those engines all the time, and we say, listen, these main dealers now are sort of doing engines at prices that either are cheaper or nearer, you know. Bear in mind the engine's going to be dressed. If we do an engine or we get an exchange engine in, it's going to be a bare engine. You've then got to pay someone to take it out, put it in, dress it all up, and by the time you've dressed it up and replaced parts and then replaced all the bits like the injectors and turbos and all that, you're into mega money. You know, they're basically, it seems like people are buying cars for strong money at the minute. They're going all out to buy them. Not leaving themselves much margin for, you know, for repairs or anything like that, for running costs. They're going belly up, and they're sort of worth good money done. It's going to cost them real strong money to get it done, put an engine in, but they're worth bugger all without. So absolute bloody nightmare. I just wanted to do a video really to sort of try and educate you guys. If you are thinking of buying anything, do take these things into consideration. My advice to you would be, whatever you're deciding to buy, go to a main dealer. If it's a Ford, go to Ford. If it's a Mercedes, go to Mercedes. See how much they would charge you, at worst case scenario, for an engine. Because I know Mercedes at the moment, we had one recently, Mercedes are doing engines for a Sprinter, I think it is. They are about £6,200, fully dressed with 2 turbos on, all the rest of it, injectors, even a subloom, ready to just put in the oil, plug in, away you go. 2 years warranty, mind, so that's twice as long as an engine reconditioner would give you, and that's all over Europe. So you break down in France, go to your local Mercedes dealership and now sort it out. We can't sort of do it for that, to be honest with you, by the time you bought the bits. So that's the way it's going. But as I say, my advice really, guys, would be to just do your homework, price up a few major bits on the vehicle before you buy it. Make sure that you've got some budget or some plan behind you if they go belly up, because these cars are just giving no warning. You know, it's not like the old days where you start to get a bit of smoke and, you know, this, that, the other. If you've got things like oil level gauges and pressure gauges either non-existent or just not working, then, you know, people are buying these cars, letting their missus run round in them and take the kids to school. They haven't got a clue about looking at, unless there's something big, red and flashing in front of them, they're not going to take any notice. They certainly ain't going to start checking oil levels. So yeah, it was really just a bit of an educational video, guys, and yeah, take our word for it that it is happening. Yeah, it could be really costly, but thanks ever so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, comment down below on if you've had any experience with things like this, or or you're almost buying something and you want a little bit of advice, by all means comment down and I'll read it and get back to you, but or just give us a ring. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Till another one, take care, have a good weekend.